Hey guys, welcome back to the BroBryceHealth channel. My name is Bryce L. Tomlinson. Just a real quick rundown on me. I'm a guy that used to weigh something like 285 pounds, and through beginning out in low carb and sugar free and lots of fake food and sort of half-assing my way through trying to be healthy and exercising a lot and getting nowhere with it and having a lot of failed attempts, I eventually came to know keto. And by keto, I mean ketogenic nutrition, low carb, high fat nutrition, very moderate protein. Back in the late 90s to I don't know, maybe early 2000s, I did the Atkins diet, and I did so by reading the Atkins book and following the instructions and not really studying the science. I really didn't know what made it tick, and I really didn't know any of the science about insulin resistance and gluconeogenesis and any of these things. I didn't know any of this stuff. But what I did know is that I needed to avoid carbohydrate. I didn't know the rest of the equation. Anyway, so eventually I dropped off of Atkins because I just had to work too hard to keep it up, and I did a lot of exercising and I still gained weight. So today I don't get much exercise outside of my job. My job is a lot of exercise, but I still maintained my weight for the last few years without any measurable exercise. And I only lost about 10 pounds once I started this job. So today I'm bringing you up to speed with a check-in. My average weight these days for the last month is about 189 to 190 pounds. Before I started this job, I was, hovering around 200 pounds, which is still like 85 pounds lighter than I used to was. So today I'm around 189 pounds. I'm still in what they call Wonderland, which is 100 and something pounds. So happy about that. But today I started the bacon experiment, and that means I'm only eating bacon every day for 30 days. 2 pounds of bacon. That's 2 pounds weight before it's cooked, and once it's cooked, then it is whatever it is. I'm saving the bacon fat in ice cube trays in the freezer, and then I'm gonna bag those ice cubes up and be able to use those, say, in my coffee and stuff later on after the bacon experiment is over. The bacon experiment excludes bulletproof coffee, so I don't have any of my super fatty coffee that I like to have every once in a while. I don't have it most of the time. Most of the time I just drink black coffee and some apple cider vinegar cocktail in the morning with my water, and I just go to work and I come home after 8 hours of work, and then I eat the world. That's what I've been doing for most days for the last couple of months. Eat all my calories within a 1 to 2 hour window. Lately I've been eating a lot of burgers with cheese, and sometimes with almond butter on them, and sometimes with some ghost pepper salsa on them. And still my weight stays relatively the same. For the last month I also had a lot of smoothies with spinach and a little tiny bit of strawberries and cauliflower, broccoli, and chia seed. And I'm just trying to keep my electrolytes up, because my job is very demanding and it seems to be draining a lot of my electrolytes. As long as I keep those up, I now have AFib, and I was diagnosed with that about a month ago. Now I'm getting ready to do a checkup, and I think it's kind of funny that I'm doing the bacon experiment like right before, like halfway before I do this checkup to see if I'm going to get this ablation surgery for my AFib. And if that works out, then it works out. I'm going to give it the old college try. And if it doesn't, then I'm not hopeless. My intention for these videos is I'm going to go through like a check-in for myself. I'm going to have a subject matter that we can revolve all of our conversation around, just something to base it on. You guys are welcome to have your own conversation and your own interaction with me and with others in the live chat. But I'm offering forth a particular subject matter. This week, it's going to be the bacon experiment. What you think of it, the do's, the don'ts, the, have-nots. General keto talk, low carb, high fat talk is acceptable. If you are determined to troll and, discuss other kind of fraudulent health practices and whatnot, then I'll probably give you the boot. Or, we might sit and wait and see if you might become an enlightened individual. But trolling is not really appreciated. So, just the guidelines for going forward, how we're going to do this. We'll have a basic check-in from me. All through the whole thing, you guys are welcome to check in your progress. And if you want to do before and after pictures and stuff like that, please send them to me through the YouTube messaging. I'd be very happy to respond to that way, and maybe we can insert those into a live stream in the following week. But I don't want to try to stick them up here right now. So that's just the nature of live streaming. I don't know what I'm gonna get, so we're gonna try and keep it clean. Anyway, you guys are very welcome to check in openly throughout the live chat. You don't have to wait for a certain cue to call or something like that. In the coming weeks, I will be doing some book giveaways. I have several books on hand that I will give away free of charge. I will ship them right to your door. If you are the happy winner, and you can send me your contact info on YouTube and or even on Facebook, and I will mail it to you. I'm going to keep an eye on the Facebook comments on Facebook from the Facebook group, which is BroBryceHealth.info. You're welcome to check in there. I will be keeping this stream going until 5 o'clock, at which point I'm going to try to go over and jump on and see my buddy Tony at Old Nerd Reviews. Tony is often a viewer on my channel. I'm going to be going over and giving him the courtesy and enjoying his stream and his fans' conversation. Man, it's a madhouse over there. It's pretty fun. He doesn't talk keto because he's a food reviewer, so you're just not going to see keto stuff there. So if you're tempted, don't go. But if you're like me and it doesn't bother you, ever the whole world eats different from you, then it won't be that big of a deal. Anyway, so the bacon experiment was started by Dan Cabell, and Dan Cabell is a pretty great dude. He seems pretty friendly. He's got his own group there, an open group called the Bacon Experiment, and you are more than welcome to ask crazy questions, and they do a great job of answering them. You have a free PDF that you can download, which I also showed on my recorded video earlier today. And you can check that out. There's links in the description to this video as well, so where you can get that PDF. And I want to know what you think of the idea of just eating bacon every day for 30 days. Now, my goal is not necessarily to lose weight, but it would be nice to get that last stubborn 20 pounds or so, 25 pounds. That when I was on Atkins, I had to ride my bike 30 miles a day to get that weight off, and I don't do that every day anymore. I don't do that pretty much at all anymore. I do, a lot of heavy work, heavy lifting at work, and I get plenty of exercise there, but it's not, it's not necessarily the same kind of exercise. I'm not totally convinced that cardio exercise is all that great for you. Oh no, please don't tell us that, but I'm just not convinced that cardio is all that great for you. It's pretty hard on your body, and you might pay a price for it later, but I don't want to scare anybody. I just don't think that cardio is all that fabulous for you. I think that lifting weights might be better for you, But my big concern right now is I have really bad carpal tunnel. I have a lot of pain in my hands, and especially with this new job, you know, if I have a couple days off, then my hands feel a lot better. Like today, you know, I've got one day off before I go back to work, and my hands are a little bit better than they were yesterday. If I had 2 days off, I'm pretty much recovered. And that's, I think, kind of the byproduct of keto, that, you know, it's very anti-inflammatory. And what I'd like to see is that if the bacon experiment, being basically zero carb for all intents and purposes, if it being that low carb, if it's going to be even more impactful in the anti-inflammatory facet of my diet. Now, I'd love to see that happen. If it was, you know, so good that it would help me with the pain with the carpal tunnel, that'd be great. Also, with the AFib, I'd like to see if maybe it just makes the symptoms go away. That'd be fabulous. So far, I haven't eaten anything other than bacon today, and my heart feels pretty good. My throat's a little sore. Maybe because I shot a bunch of videos earlier today too. I may be tired from talking. I did a bacon video where I baked bacon, and I did a mayonnaise video to update my mayonnaise. I'm going to have to edit those down, which God knows when I'm going to have time to do that. I'm hoping Monday. Either tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. Anyway, you guys are welcome to chime in and let me know what you think about anything. Hopefully I'll be getting some comments in here somewhere. Anyway, so the idea behind this is we would have a live Saturday keto chat. It's going to be like an open door on Saturdays. You guys can talk about anything keto, and I will try to, you know, throw together best answers or, you know, interact with you guys on that. Then we would have, hopefully, it seems like today is probably going to be pretty difficult because we only have maybe 13 minutes left of this stream. But with that said, you know, we could do Q&A throughout the show, or we could do a certain section of Q&A during the program, and you guys can let me know what you think about that in the comments down below or in the live chat, which will appear on the screen right here. We'll talk about anything low carb, high fat, keto, and I want to talk about the bacon experiment today. So it's going to be very interesting not having any vegetables at all for a month. I think I did something like that once before, where I had I did just meat and lemon juice, but I knew nothing about electrolytes or any of that business. I knew nothing about it before. Now I feel like I've read an Encyclopedia Britannica of electrolytes and nutrition and what fiber impacts, and, you know, what net carbs versus total carbs and all of those things. You know, I think I've watched probably 30,000 hours of video on the subject from, you know, seminars and stuff, keto fests and things like that. Engaged in a lot of that stuff. Let's see if I'm even looking at the right window here. Here's the chat. Nope, that's still the chat. Yep. I'm just going to type a little test in here. There we go. And there it is. It pops up in the right chat. So anyway, if any of you guys have any questions, please be free to use the live chat over here, or you can also use the comments down below after the show and let me know what you think. I'm hoping that next week I'll have this far more on the ball and less off the ball. Really want to see this take off and be something that lends to the support and accountability through the group. The Facebook group is facebook.com/BroBryceHealth, or groups/BroBryceHealth, or you can just go to BroBryceHealth.info, which is right down there. That'll take you to the Facebook group. You can interact there. And then also I've got the new blog site where a link to this video is going to be posted there later today. And also my check-in from earlier today will also be there. My check-in kind of goes into more detail about like what I'm doing with keto. And with that, I want you guys to know that the music that you heard at the onset of the show was Glenn Case. He's a good friend of mine on Facebook, and I've been following his YouTube videos for several years with my wife. He and his wife, Rachel Lane, are fabulous people, and I've really had a lot of fun watching their videos and chatting with them live on Facebook and seeing their crazy antics, and them checking out some of my crazy antics, and just us being interweb nerds together, and it's been fun. So I would appreciate it if you guys would Google up Glenn Case, and his music is wonderful and eccentric and beautiful, and it's one of the few musical artists that I directly identify with maybe 95% of his songs. There's some of his songs that I'm like, huh? But most of them I remember I talked with Glenn Case about a particular song that he wrote. I don't remember the name of the song. I think it's Counting Lines or something. But it's a song about the lines on the sidewalk when you're walking along, and how it sort of fits a rhythm, and you think about things in your life and where you're going and what you're doing. And it was something that it identified with me with a time in my life when I was working at the post office and I was walking to the bus stop all the time. I was thinking about the next thing that I got to do and the next place that I was going, and Glenn was telling me that was a song that he had thought about just like tossing, and I'm like, man, please never toss your music, because you never know who it's going to affect. You never know who it's going to be identifying with. You just never know. It could minister to a person in a way that you never could have expected. Anyway, Old Nerd Reviews is going to start up live in probably about 14 minutes, and I'll be heading over there if you wish to head over there with me. I know that some of you watching this video, if you're watching now or you're watching after the fact, some of you actually came here from Old Nerd Reviews because you saw something over there, and I know at least one guy was talking about his diabetes over there, and ended up coming over here and talking to me over here, and it transformed something in his life. And it's really great to have even a meter effect on someone else's life, someone else's health journey, to be able to help them out in any way. That's really a blessing. And I hope that as you're watching this, as you're joining us, that you keep that in mind for yourself. If you're joining this just for yourself, that's going to have an effect. I'm sure it's going to have an effect on your life. But the best thing, the most gratifying facet of this for me has been to be able to have an effect on other people. And that's why I do it for free. So I have other means of making income, as you probably already know if you know me. I have already other things in place that make sure that I have an income regardless. But if you're doing this for you, then that's going to have an effect on you. But the more effect that you can have on those around you, your sphere of influence, however small or big it may be, try to be a light in whatever place that you're at. Even if you live in a box, try to be a light in that box. 1 second. You gotta love it when your dog won't stop barking. You gotta love the mute button. She just keeps barking. I have a bark collar for her, but sometimes it doesn't work. She just sits there and beeps. Anyway, I hope that you are enjoying this live stream. Sorry that we're not getting more interactivity today. I'm sorry that my live stream got started really late. I have no clue what went wrong. But next time I know, I'm going to make a checklist right now while I'm on here with you guys. So I'm going to erase some things later, but here we go. So number 1, connect to my 5G connection. Number 2, lav mic. Make sure that's on me, because it doesn't work when it's not on me. Number 3, countdown. Number 4, I have to get my dog to be quiet. That's pretty crazy. I have to use the backup server on YouTube, it seems, because the other server did not work for me. Was not able to get a lockdown on my stream due to a combination of circumstances. Number 1, I wasn't using my 5G, and the place where I live right now has about 30 Wi-Fi's going in this one building right here. In this building, in the apartment complex, has about 30 Wi-Fi's going, and that just interferes with everything. In addition to that, it seems like YouTube's primary stream server was not working for me, so trying to make sure that I'm on the backup server, use the 5G, make sure my lav mic is on me, and use the countdown timer properly. So I need to set up that countdown timer, and hopefully next week I'll have a few more things going on the screen that will be a little more engaging, a little more interesting. Oh yeah, number 5, let's have the LED, which is this little guy right here. I'm using a little LED lamp. I've got also 2 torch lamps. I'll let you know, I'll let you see what it looks like when I've got just my regular room light. So that's just the regular room light. That's a compact fluorescent light that's up there. I probably should replace it with something better, but it's a CFL light. And then I have these 2 LED torch lights, which make a tremendous difference. That's probably the biggest difference. And then just basically to kind of fill in and compensate, give me more light, I've got this LED light. Now, I used to teach a filmmaking class, and one of the biggest questions that I used to get is, you see how my software and my webcam will compensate for the low light, but what you get is a lot of graininess. And so people say, well, how do I avoid getting a lot of film noise? I tell them, get more lights. And they say, well, what if I can't afford more lights? I say, get more lights. And they say, but really, I can't afford more lights. And I said, well, then learn to enjoy film noise, or get more lights. Anyway, it's a lot less noisy, as you can see. So get more lights, and make sure that your frame rate and your LED frequency don't make flicker, because that will drive everybody crazy. There's also tricks on how to get rid of flicker after the fact too. But just so you know, this is a cheap, I don't know, it's like a $35 light that I bought, and a couple of torch lamps that I think one of them I fished out of the trash. I don't know. I'm a tightwad, and so I buy all my nerdy, snarky shirts at Goodwill, and St. Vincent de Paul and Salvation Army. I love doing business with the Salvation Army. They're a real charity. So anyway, I'm sorry if this has been a little bit random. We have about 6 minutes left to go. If you guys do have any questions or Q&A type stuff that you would like to address today, then that would be fabulous. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to go over here and attempt to see my live control room. There we go. There's my live control room. No, that's not my live control room. I can subscribe to my own channel. Oh my goodness, I should totally do that. Let me see here. No, we're not offline. Let's go over to this. There we go. Now we're in the live control room. We have a good stream. We've had a good stream since this whole thing started. All right. So, you know, we're off to a rough start. It is a little rough because we've got, you know, we had a really bad time getting started. And I can't hold that against anybody but myself for being a little bit not prepared properly, I guess. Originally, when I started it out, it said it had a good stream. And then when I actually fired up the show, it said it was a bad stream. And so I didn't know what to do about it. Now I know what to do about it. These are checklists that I can do. Make a checklist. Go through the checklist. Do the checklist. Make sure of that. Anyway, I'm glad that if any of you are watching this after the fact, because obviously not many of you, if any of you, have watched this during the live stream, but I'm glad that we're documenting this stuff. You know, I have a vlog channel as well. I'm not going to talk about it or plug it right now, but you know, one of the things that I found out about doing the vlogs was that, you know, not a lot of people had a lot of interest in it. I think more people have an interest in this, learning how to let food be thy medicine, right? I'm sure that a lot of people have a lot more interest in that than just learning about my meager life, you know, because my life is honestly not all that interesting. I do a lot of boring stuff with my life, but I have exciting moments that I would like to remember. And so I decided to try to make that channel more about my life and documenting my life, if for no other reason than for me to go back and look at it. And that's what I ended up doing. I found that my vlogging channel was far more rewarding for me if I just focused on documenting and vlogging about things that I was interested in and that I would like to look back on. So I would encourage you, if you start a channel or a blog about your weight loss journey or the food choices you make or about anything in your life, to make it about things that you want to remember, milestones in your life that you want to remember. Make it something for you. There may be somebody that is interested in it. Honestly, there's so much content on the internet that we have to be realistic and say, you know what, maybe a lot of people aren't going to be interested in what I have to offer. That's always a possibility, and you have to be realistic and know that there's a good possibility that no one is ever going to discover you, even if you're great. It's just and it's not because you're not great. It's just because there's so much content out there to choose from that honestly, if someone does choose to watch these videos, I am so grateful for you and your interaction with it. And you know, if you end up liking it with your thumb or leaving comments and stuff, I am so grateful that anybody finds my stuff interesting. I tried my hand at doing entertainment channels. I tried my hand at doing comedy and vlogging, and I found it to not be that rewarding unless I just did it for me. So when I do this weight loss and all of this nutrition stuff, I do it partly for me, but I also know that I've been able to impact a number of people in their lives, and I'm hoping to help you to impact other people. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm glad that you've been here, even if you're here just after the fact. I love you guys, and I will see you again next Saturday at 4. We will do another live chat, right before Tony on Old Nerd Reviews. And then I'm going to jump over there. So I'm going to jump over there tonight in just a few minutes. So with that, I'm going to leave you with some more Glenn Case. Some say they have seen a gigantic